welcome back to the channel. My name is Hen and this is Crafting from the Broom Closet. We're on to the last, or second to last letter of the hashtag ABC 2025 project. So we're on to the letter Y. Yesterday I missed out. I told you that I wouldn't be doing X because the only thing I could think of was X-ray or xylophone. And neither of them appealed to me. But today we are doing the letter Y, sorry. My English came in then. Letter. My common came in. So we're doing the letter Y. And we are doing Yesteryear. So I'm just popping up a little video in the corner of a little device known as the Jacob's Ladder. It's a device that's been around for many centuries, and most of us will have seen one at some point in our lifetime. And it's a little bit of nostalgia. So that's what today's projects are going to be based on. So we are going to be making our own little Jacob's Ladder notebook type thing. Well, just an interactive thing that can go in your journal. But we're also going to be making something else that is also based on the Jacob's Ladder. We're going to do two projects today. Yes, you're getting spoiled. This is literally the equipment we're going to be using. So we're going to be using some paper. Going to be using my cutting board and my knife and ruler because I can't cut straight lines with the scissors. I think I may be using the pencil. I've got it just in case. Definitely needing the glue stick. And then we've got some cardboard packaging, and this is just cereal boxes. So that is what we're going to be using today. So let's get to it. I'm going to move the paper out of the way for a minute. So I'm just going to warn you. So this was my first prototype, and it didn't go very well. Because as you can see, I'm left with a big chunk of cardboard that just won't move. But you get the idea that we're going to make a Jacob's Ladder. My second prototype went better, and now I don't know where I put it. Oh, here it is. So this is made out of the cereal boxes. I can't show you, and I will show you, obviously, but you can see I have to move the camera to show you. So this is just a really basic one. And I figured out what I was doing wrong when I did the first one, and I'll show you along the way. So what do we need? Cardboard, paper, which is over here. Move them out of the way. Paper, probably a pencil, possibly not, but yeah, no, we definitely will need a pencil. Just remember, we all need a pencil. Ruler, knife, chopping board, scissors if you can cut in a straight line. I can't, hence why I'm using the cutting board and the knife and scissors. So let's start with what size we want it to be. For the first one, I'm just going to cut two rectangles roughly the same size. Is this straight? Possibly not. Actually, it's not too bad. There's a little kink in it there. It's not too bad. I'm going to make sure it is straight. So let's line that up with a line there. Because that edge, I think, is... Oh, no, that's not even straight. Are any of these lines straight? I can't tell. That one's straight, I think. She says. Maybe. No, it's not. I can see it. It's definitely not. So we need to get some straight edges. So let's start getting a straight edge. Definitely need a straight edge. So let's line this up. We're gonna just chop off this edge and get a straight edge. Because we need straight edges. We need these to be uniform. We need these to be the same size. So the first project I'm making is nicknamed either a Jacob's Ladder card or a magic wallet. And I'll show you how it's done. So there's our first straight edge. So now we can work out straight edges with all the rest of it. So get that straight up there, line it up. I want it, bring it over a little bit because I want to trim off a little bit to get that straight edge again. There we go. I could draw. Oh, I can't see the bottom. Oh, poop. Let's trim this down this way because I don't need it that long anyway. So I trim this down this way. I hold that line up against that one. I can still see the points, and I'm probably going to make it. How many centimeters is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 centimeters across. Yeah, that'll do. 8 centimeters across. Make sure I'm lining up the ruler at the top and the bottom with the lines that are on my board, because then it just makes it easier. This is all lined up there. Is it lined up there? Not quite. That looks more aligned. There we go. Oh, just had my neck click. That's not a good noise. I've been having a very tired day today, so I'm very late doing this. I mean, I'm always late doing this. But you know when you have one of them days where you just don't want your eyes just don't want to function. They're just really tired. So, and that will probably be because my mind has been overactive for a couple of weeks now. I'm going to turn this around because now I can see the board. And I'm just going to trim off. Get that straight line lined up with something, and we're just going to trim off these not so straight edges. And work out what the halfway point is. In fact, I probably only need to trim off one straight edge before we decide what size we're cutting this down to. Remember, line up your ruler with the lines on the board. And that'll give you the straight edge. Oh, don't go into your fingers like I have a habit of trying to do. So that's that bit off. And what size have we got here? I can use my board to measure. So we've got 19. So let's get it down to 18 because that's easier to divide by 2. It was less than that, 19 anyway. So we're going to chop that down to 18. Let's turn this around so I can see better. So I hold that one up against the 18 mark. There we go. And chop that down by following the 0 centimetre line. Go away, glue. Let's pop you up there out of the way. Oh! And knock my camera flying. Awesome. Trying to figure out what was going on there. That's just the edge of the actual camera. I was wondering why I had a black mark there. Black edge, black line. Oh, I didn't do that very straight, did I? Try again. That's roughly right. Okay, so now half of 18 is 9. So we need to measure this out to 9 centimetres. So hold that up against the edge there. Or thereabouts. 9 centimetres with that mark there. So let's get our ruler and cut along that line. So I don't need the pencil for this one. This is quite a small one. You can make this any size you want. I'm making it quite small. So we've got 9 by 8 centimetres, I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, 9 by 8 centimetres. Okay. Now I want to cover these. But I only want to cover one size fully. Because I want to cover over some of the evidence on the other side. So I'm just going to I'm going to use this paper, this pink paper. It doesn't matter that it's crunchy, because we can smooth it out. I'm just going to cut a little bit around it, so there's a little bit of an overlap. Okay, let's do that. In this case, I could use the scissors. I haven't thought them out, so I am going to just use the knife and ruler, just because I haven't got the scissors out. So I want it to just go over a little bit over the edge there. Doesn't need to be much, just a little bit. Just so it gives us some nice neat edges. And then over that way as well. And it doesn't have to be perfectly square either. As you can see, it's not perfectly square. You won't even notice that. So, okay, now we get my glue stick. Glue stick. I'm going to cover this with glue. Lost the lid. Place that down. Push it down. Then we're going to mitre the corners. Like I said, it doesn't have to be precise because you're going to be covering over what you see here anyway. Remember, when you're mitering the corners, you're not going quite up to the cardboard. You're staying a little bit away from it. And you're just going like that, culling out that sort of area there. As you can see, it's much wider here than there, but that's fine because you won't see it. Well, I should have shown you, and I'll show you on the other one, because these are the same size, it should be fine. You want to actually cut a piece the same size or slightly less than the cardboard. So that's that done for a minute, and I'll show you what we're doing with that in a second. So for this one, and I'm going to get my pencil to draw around it this time, is you do want this to be the right size to go exactly or just below the size of the cardboard. So I'm going to draw around my cardboard with the pencil. Oops. Okay, so we need to cut out that square there. Maybe I should have made sure my paper was a bit flatter before I drew that around. But I'm going to go just inside that line. The reason being is because I want to cover this whole cardboard up. Don't forget, we're going to have this flap over, so it will doesn't need to go quite up to the edge, but I want it to go up to the edge. And you could do this in a completely different colour to the first thing, but you want 2 of these, and you also want 2 of the ones that are slightly bigger. Follow that line just inside that line, just a fraction inside that line, like so. So there we go. So what we will do is we'll glue this down, glue in your edges. This we don't need yet, we'll use it afterwards. This gives you a nice neat edge, and it covers over that cardboard edge so you can't see it. You can use anything to decorate this with, cover it with, whatever you want. I'm just using this paper just because it happened to be around. And then once this is, once you're ready to put this on, that will go over there. And I really didn't cut that straight at all. But it's fine because it's covering over and it's taking it up to the edges. In fact, I need to cut off that little corner there where it's gone all skew with. So let's get rid of that. Look, she says, makes it worse. There we go. Okay, so that'll be ready for when I need it. I don't need it right now. I need to do another one exactly the same as this. So let's get another bit. Where have I put my rectangle? There it is. So that there will be fine. Bit tight, but this should be fine. No, I think I want to make it a little bit bigger than that. So let's find another part of this this paper. There we go. Let's flatten that out a little bit more because it's very crinkly. And we'll just use this to cut around. There we go. Will I do it that way? Yeah. Don't need you. Where did I put my ruler? Over here. I'm just going to cut down there. Yeah. Missed the ruler altogether there. It's fine. It's fine. Let's fix that. Still enough around there, yeah. Still enough around there. Cool. Take off that corner. Then we go down here. No cross. Like I said, this one, it doesn't have to be perfectly square. It doesn't have to be the same widthness at either side because we will fix it as we go. There we go. So I'm going to glue that down and then we're going to mitre and cut the corners. Glue, mitre and stick the corners even. There it goes. That's stuck. Oh, that's not stuck down. Why did that not stick? Sorry about that. My phone decided it wanted to do a software update. And I'm like, no, not now. Not now. So we'll stick that down. Hopefully I didn't miss anything out. I just went, why is it bleeping at me? Oh, okay. No, not software update right now. Why would you do that, phone? Why? So mitre the corners. So we're going towards the corner, but not quite there, and then back out again, like so. Don't have to do it as deep an angle as that. In fact, it's probably better if you don't. In towards corner, and then back out again. Towards the corner, and then back out again. Towards the corner, and then back out again. And none of them mitres look the same shape, but they will work. So glue, 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 glue. Fold that one over, push it in. Fold that one over. Okay, and it just gives you nice, neat corners. And it's covering up this edge of this cardboard to disguise what we're actually using here. A bit more glue under there. Okay. Oh. No, I don't want the mitre on the paper anymore. There we go. There we go. So that is the basics started, and I just need to cut another rectangle that will fit inside. And I think I decided that I was going to do it on this part. And actually, if I just cut that, yeah, see that's perfect in height already. So I just need to cut the width of it. So let's do the width of it. Just under, and I'm not even going to bother with the ruler this time, or the pencil this time, because I already know the height is perfect. So I'm just going to get my ruler. As you see, I've got it lined up just off there. I'm just going to get my ruler, line it up with this rectangle that I've cut out. I've got it going off the edge a little bit. I need to get it off a little bit more than that. There we go. About there. Line it up with that. And hopefully, fingers crossed, this will be the right size. She says. And I know that my friend TJ is in the thing saying, use a ruler and pencil, measure it properly. Let's have a look if that was going to fit. That will be adequate. It's actually a little bit tall. So I might actually just need to trim it down slightly. Just slightly. The width was fine. The height is a little bit too tall. So just got to take a fraction off, like so. There we go. So there we go. So that's that one done. That is the basis of our project. So we've got the 2 squares that will be stuck on in a little while. And then we've got the 2 squares that we've already stuck on. And yes, you can see the, if you look closer, you can see the pattern behind. You might want to use thicker paper. But this will do for now. Now what we need is some strips of paper. Some strips of paper. And they just have to be paper. They don't have to be anything special. I'm going to use this. So what we need is the strips need to be as wide as this and a little bit longer, probably about 1 inch longer. So if I cut strips from here, more than long enough. You don't want them too wide, probably about 1 centimetre. About 1 centimetre wide will do. So let's do that. We're going to cut some centimetre strips off this bit of paper. I'm going to trim off this bit that I don't need because I only need 4 strips for this whole project. So I'm going to get rid of some of this that I don't need, just to not have too much extra in the way. Okay, so I know, I nearly stabbed myself in the leg then. So I know this edge is straight. This is the natural edge of the paper. So let's get some straight lines going on here, shall we? And what do I say? Said I needed it to be this plus about 1 inch either side. So let's trim it down there first of all. So we get rid of some of that excess that we don't need. Okay, now let's get some straight lines going on. So we'll get rid of this edge here because it's, you know, not straight. It's not that far off straight, actually. Actually, I think it is straight. I think it is straight. Don't need to worry about taking any off. So I want to do 4 strips that are 1 centimetre or thereabouts wide. 1. Move this along to the 10 centimetre. See, I didn't cut that straight, did I? I'm not very good at cutting straight lines, even with a ruler and a guide. But it really doesn't matter. Let's move that up a bit. Let's get you on the straight line. Maybe I'll do a better job of cutting a straight line then. Let's move you down so I can actually see. There we go. There we go. There we go. So I've got my 4 straight lines. Just move that all out of the way. Don't need you now. So we get our square. This is our square. Actually, it's not really a square, it's a rectangle, so I'm gonna have it tall way up. So narrow, tall. Okay, and we get 2 of our bits of paper and we form an X in the middle, like so. Right, I'm just going to cut an actual... Oh, I'm going to use a little bit of this just to hold this X exactly where I want it in the middle. Just to start off with, you want it in the middle, like... I'm trying to get it as accurately in the middle as possible. Doesn't have to be precise, but you do want it sort of in the middle of your bit of paper. And I'm just going to use a little tiny dab of glue and glue here, and I'm just going to use that to hold that in place, and we will be removing it, so you don't want it fully stuck down, so don't press hard. Just, you can use tape, masking tape here. I don't happen to have masking tape available. This does need to come off, so don't stick it down properly. With using glue stick, it does make it easier to remove. And there you go. So that's holding my my X sort of in place. Now, these two here, we want to tuck under, like so. This is not functioning for me properly. It works so much better on the test. I did do a test. I don't know what I did with it, but I did do a test a couple of days ago. Fold them under, like so. And then we glue them down. And you'll see, this is the reason I haven't decorated the other side yet, is because we want to cover these up with this bit of paper. Okay. Then we get our other piece of card, and we line it up as best as we can. These two here are going to be stuck on the other side of here. So if I put it over like that, you'll see that's how we want to line it up. Let me go the other way for a minute. Let's flip it over because it's probably easier that way. There we go. Line it up like that as best as you can. If you cut them to exactly the same size, it'd be easier. Mine are not quite there, but they're close enough. Put a bit of glue on that, stick that down. Put a bit of glue on that, stick that down. These do need to be glued down securely, so if it's not gluing properly, make sure you've glued it. Or you can use sellotape, whichever you prefer, because these will be covered up. Masking tape, sellotape, whatever you prefer. Okay, so they are pretty much lined up. Now we take that back over this way. We get our other strips. Looks very pretty, doesn't it? Pink and blue work well together. And this time we are going this way across, like that. You don't want to overlap them with the cross that you've made. So this will get tucked under here, and this will get tucked under here. Oh. So if I fold that over, like so, and fold that one under, like so, then we know roughly where we're doing it. She says. She moves it. I said you want them lined up as much as possible. So we want that one there, and we want that one there. We'll glue them down. Would help if I use the right end of the glue stick. Oh, you're not. Oh, you are seeing it. It's fine. Glue and glue. Put that one there. And put that one there. Like so. See if that's. Let's get them straight. So this one, these now are going under here, like there. Under there, like that. Like so. And they're going to get glued on the other side, like that. Right, let's get our rectangles lined up again, and then we can glue them down. Yep. So now you should be able to close it like that and then open it like that. Oh, I forgot to take that off. See, that's why you take that off. So close it like that and open it like that. So now we just cover up the evidence of what we've done here. Make sure it's all glued around the edges. Pop that on. Didn't put that on very straight. Try and straighten that up. There we go. Good thing about glue stick is you have a little bit of flexibility with the movement. Same on the other side. So I'm going to glue around here as well as get all the edges. There we go. My glue has a habit of rolling, so I'm just going to move it up there just before it decides to disappear off the table like it has a habit of doing. So there we go. So you can decorate this however you want, but what you're left with is this little special thing here. So like, you open it up that way, and then you can open it up that way. But the magic trick comes when I put something inside of it. Let's see what I've got. Just a bit of cardboard. We pop that bit of cardboard in there, like so. Close it up, open it back up. It's disappeared to the other side. Close it back up again, open it back up. Oh, magic. So that's why it's called the Magic Wallet. And it is loosely based, well, not even loosely based, it's definitely based on the Jacob's Ladder. So you could put one of the cards that we've made, you could put anything, you could put a photo in there, you could put money in there if you really wanted to, because you can make this and gift it to someone as a magic gift wallet. So that is the Magic Wallet, which is based on the Jacob's Ladder, the construction of a Jacob's Ladder. Let's try the next project. Now this time we are making a small variant of the Jacob's Ladder, like I showed you in my demo earlier on. And we need some cardboard. And I want you to cut it into 2 squares per square of the Jacob's Ladder. So in this case, we're having 3 squares, so it's 6 squares in total. You can measure it to size. I wish I had my longer ruler, but I somehow managed to snap it the other day. I like working in centimetres just because I do, but you can work in inches. So this one, so I'm just getting my pencil to mark where the marks are. So that's 20 centimetres plus, it's roughly 26 centimetres. So I could get, and this way it is how many? 19. I'm trying not to get these folded edges in. So 19. So if I did it 6, if I did, what did I say? It was 25. 25 divided by 3 is, I don't know, my brain can't function at the moment. I'm going to do it 7 by 7, I believe, because that will give me 21. It gives me a little space. So 7 centimetres by 7 centimetres, because I've got that edge to deal with as well. So
If I go 7 and then 14 will be my marks, yeah. And you can see I'm bringing it up to this lump, so I'm going to be cutting that lump off. So 7 and 14, and then let's put that there. Another 7, 21. We've got a little bit to spare there. And then I'm going to go this way. I just need 2 lots of 7. That will give me. So it's going to be quite a small one this time. Going up to that lump again, pushing against that lump. Noisy traffic. 7 and 14. So this is the space I'm going to be using. So the squares are going to be that size, which is still sufficient enough. So let's start by cutting off these edges that we don't need. I'm going to cut this side of that lump. And turn that mat over. You do want these to be as precise as possible. So unlike me, try and hold your knife correctly, and if you have a paper trimmer, use your paper trimmer. I do have one, but I'm showing you how to do this without tools. That looks fairly straight. So I'm trying to show you how to do this without tools. I should have measured it in 2 places, shouldn't I? So let's go back and measure that in 2 places so I have somewhere to follow down. So holding that up against there, straight. So it was 7. Let's get the pencil that doesn't snap really easy. 7 and 14. And another 7, because we want that to be 21. And then this way it was just 7 and 14. Oh, I've already got a line that end, haven't I? It's up this end I need to do it. 14 and 7. Okay. So there's the 2 lines I need to meet up to get my first 7. Okay. And then there's the next 2 lines I need to meet up to get my second 7. Why does that not look straight? I think it's just the angle I'm looking at it. No, that really doesn't look straight. Apparently it is. That definitely doesn't look straight. That's definitely not straight. Okay, we'll figure it out in a minute. Let's chop off this edge. Chop off this edge, and I'll figure out what I've done wrong in a minute. I clearly didn't measure that accurately. That one, none of it looks straight. In fact, look, I can see it's not straight. That is certainly not straight. This edge is straight. That edge is straight. That is completely off straight. How did I manage that? It's not straight at all. I don't even know what size that is now. Well, it's on the 7 that way. It's not on the 7 that way. What size is that? What size is that? 6.5. Oh dear. Okay, I'm guessing we're doing a different size squares now. No, I need it that way. Need it that way to give me my length. Let's line that up. Line that up with something. Line it up with something. I don't care what I line it up, but I'm lining it up with something. There we go. Let's just trim this here, and I'm guessing it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 now. They don't actually have to be square. In fact, they don't have to be square at all. So it looks like we're doing them 6. 6. I need to get 3 out of this, and I believe this is 21. Yeah, this is 21, so that's right. That looks pretty straight to me. So we'll do this 6 by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's this line here that I'm lining up with. Is that right? Just to double check. Yeah, so that line there. Cool. Done. That one is correct, she says. Same on this one. So line it up to the 7. 1, 2, make sure it's lined up. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it should be here. Go. Stay. Thank you. You want these to be the same size. That looks pretty good. That one doesn't. How did that happen? Oh, this is the bit of X. Have I managed to make these 6 by 6? 6 by 6. 6 by 6. How am I doing this? How am I messing up with my measurements? I'm sure you all saw me count 7 across. Right, so we've got 3 squares that are 6 by 6. Now I need another 3 squares that are 6 by 6. Yes, just 3 more squares. Oh, I've got so much excess now that I don't need. Let's get rid of that where I'll cut it skewiff in the first place. Right. Is that a straight corner? Yes, it is. So 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're cutting on this line here. Let's move that up a bit so I can see where I'm cutting. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. That line there. It's fine. They can go smaller. It's not a problem. Told you, my eyes are not working today, which makes my brain not work today. And it's not that I can't see, because I can. It's just my eyes are very tired. My brain doesn't want to function. I didn't want to wake up. Okay. Get it right this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That line there. Oh, what are you doing? Why are you gone so skew-if? It's a good thing I've got excess, because that went all skew-if. That's fine. That's not. I need this straight edge this time. So let's get a straight edge over here. I'm going to have to use this as my measuring guide now. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this line here, that one there, go. Do you ever have one of them days you wish you stayed in bed? This is one of them days. It's not that I've done anything in particular. I just didn't want to wake up. My eyes have been hurting all day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got to take that little bit of an edge off there. Let's make sure that's lined up. Because I was lucky I had a bit of excess. There we go. So that's my 6 squares cut. They're a lot smaller than the ones I used originally. So you need 2 squares per thingy. And I'm going to decorate these. I'm going to wrap them. I'm going to use me stained paper. Not sure I think that's tea stained. Pretty sure that's tea stained. So we're going to cut around these and leave a little bit of edge and do what we did over here with the mitering corners. And I'm going to just cut. You don't need to watch me cut around these. So I'm going to cut around these and be right back to you. I'm going to do them in the two different colours. I'm going to have blue and the tea stain. You'll see why. Be right back. Okay, I'm back, and as you can see, I have covered the squares. And I've also, while I was away, I cut some strips of paper, and I've used the brown Amazon bag because it's a quite a strong paper. And something I noticed when I was making the prototype is that this paper is quite thin, and originally I had 4 squares, and one of them snapped off. So I'm going to try with the brown paper to make it stronger. If you have ribbon, use that. So how do we do this? I need 3 strips of this paper. 2, 3. But before we do that, I need to measure these out. So I want to make, we'll do them up this way because I want to do it this way anyway. So I want to measure the halfway mark, make a mark, and then I want to do mark either side. So central mark, this is 6 centimetres, so halfway between 6 is 3, so that is your central mark. Oh, stay still, thank you. Centre mark, and do the same on the other side, centre mark, and I'm going to mark it at the 1 centimetre mark either side as well. So do that on all of the squares. You can use the marks you've already made to mark the other squares, so you don't have to worry about lining it up. Oh, with the sheet behind, or ruler, whichever one you would have been using. Oh, do you know what? I only need to mark one side. I don't need just the blue ones. I'm going to mark the blue ones. I don't need to mark the tea stain ones. I know I've just done that on that one, but I don't need to. So we just need to do the marks here. And these are your guidelines for the ribbons, not ribbons, the paper strips I've just made. But I said, if you've got ribbon, satin ribbon probably works best. You don't want anything with wire or anything like that that's stiff. But I'm doing it with paper just to show that you don't have to have specialist equipment to do this. And I've just dropped the strips. That's 1, 2, 3. Okay. So what we do, those are the ones that are marked, these are the ones that are not marked. Okay. So we take our strips. Let me move that down so you can see. We're taking our strips and we're going one that way, one that way, and one that way. And what you want to do is you want to line them up with the marks that we've just made in the centre of what we just made. If you have tape, use tape. If you don't have tape, use a glue stick. It works. I've used the glue stick before. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put some glue on there, glue on there, and glue on there. And I want to stick that down. I said, well, this one's going off to the right, the middle one, line it up there, and it will go off to the left. And the bottom one back off to the right, like so. Now we get our other sheet and we're going to glue that on top. So the other square is going to go on top of that. And the mistake I made with my first prototype, where it didn't collapse, remember, but it didn't drop down, was I made these too tight. So we're popping that on there, and that's done. Now we take these over. So you go and take that one over that way. You're taking the top one over that way, and you're bringing the middle one the opposite way. And don't do these too tight. That was a mistake I made. So as you can see, I'm leaving a little bit of slack in them. And then we take the next blue square and we put that on top. Get the glue again. And we're going back the opposite way to what we did before. And like I said, try and line up these with the lines that we've made on the squares. Not too tight. I just did that too tight. Leave a little bit of slack. Remember to leave a little bit of slack. Not too much slack, but a little bit of slack. because if you don't leave a little bit of slack, we have the same problem I had with my original one, where it just didn't drop down. And then we're putting the top on. Oh. Line it up as best as you can. If these have been cut to the right size, it should line up. If not, it won't line up. But it will still look good. Now, you always remember, in between each one, you need to bring it across before you glue the next one down. So that's coming across there. That's going across there. And this one is going across like so. Like I said, leave a little bit of slack in them. You want that little bit of slack, not too tight. And then we'll put the next blue square on. And this is the last part. So that one across. Oh, go on. Cooperate. Thank you. That one across. And then that one across. And let's line that up because it slipped out of alignment. Don't forget to leave that little bit of slack. Now we can trim off the excess. And I have found my scissors. So let's get rid of that excess. And then we glue the last square on. Squeeze that all together, make sure it's fully glued on. Might want to leave it to dry for a little while, but let's just have a look if it's worked. So there we go. She says, oh, there we go. Doing it wrong. It may take a little bit of wiggle to get it working. Let's try again. There we go. Yeah, it is working. We'll give it a little bit of a wiggle and it will start working. But there you go. There you have your Jacob's ladder. And I'll show you a little video at the end of this functioning. But it makes a nice little thing to go in your book, into your junk journal. You can draw pictures on it. You can even have it so if you had, you can have like a picture going down there to make or words. You can do anything. So when you have it this way, it will say something that way, or a picture going that way. But when you flop it the other way, so you can't get it to work now. There we go. Go on, function properly. Just needs warming up. So once it flops down the other way, there we go. It would have something on the other side. Right. Like I said, I will add a video at the end of this working properly. So let's see it working. Look. It's not functioning as well as I would like it to do, but you can see how it works. So that is the wife for Yesteryear, Jacob's ladder. So we made this one, and we made this, the magic wallet. I can't get to function now because my fingers aren't cooperating. Oh, hang on, am I doing it wrong? Ah, that's why. There you go, the magic wallet. There you go. And they're both based on the old-fashioned toy of the Jacob's ladder. Tomorrow is the last letter. It is the letter Z, and I have quite a cunning Z up my sleeve. So see you tomorrow. Bye bye.